Hey everybody, hello, hi, happy Friday morning to you. How is everybody doing across the world? Hello, hello. Lots of regulars in the chat, familiar names and faces. Got Navjot is there, Navjot Singh, Diari, JB87. Alejandra is back. Jim Clark is in the house. Good to see. Good to see Palm Springs being represented. Rose is here. Asala. Nancy Miranda. Hi, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. So many hellos. All right, good to see. If you're new, tell me that you're new. If this is your first time, hi, welcome. Tell me so. Tell me if it's your first time. Victor Scolata. It's not your first time, I know that. Regulars, good to see you. I hope you had a good week. I had a good week. It's been a busy week, but I've got no complaints. Kutaya is here. Arzang. Cool. Wow, lots of people. I know, too much blue, right? Blue, blue, blue. Yeah, so I'm good. Yeah, thanks. Everybody's asking me how I'm doing. Good to see everybody. I am coming to you live from Vancouver, Canada. I'm in a little studio at the Canadian College of English Language in downtown Vancouver. Tell me where you are if I don't know already. I know we've got people from all over the world in here. Fantastic. It's Friday morning for me. It might be Saturday morning for you, or Friday night. Pamela is from the UK. Hey, Pamela. We got Mexico, Colombia. All right. Zach is down the street and around the corner. Aviv Binder, Israel. Cool. Yeah, you guys, some of you saw Karim's lesson. Yeah, first timer. It's what we call a newbie. A rookie. Yeah? Maybe he's been watching me. He's learned a thing or two. But yeah, Karim is doing a class on Wednesdays. Make sure you check that out. Pretty sure he'll be back next Wednesday for more. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So as I said, I'm here in Vancouver. This is live. If you're watching it now, it's live. Newbie, that's right. And today, I know some people were asking about the level of the lesson today. Today's lesson is going to be intermediate. Okay, it's the 120 level. Intermediate, kind of that middle level. Okay, but I do think in the near future, I might be switching up the levels a little bit. Maybe a little bit of intermediate, a little bit of advanced, upper intermediate, just to switch things up. JB87, what are you talking about? A minor? A minor? All right, so today's lesson, yes, intermediate. If you're higher than that, if you're lower than that, it doesn't matter. Everybody's welcome to join, okay? Mikhail Vaverka is from Czech Republic. Good to see you. Omar from Egypt. Chile, Poland. My goodness. Danny John, you're a little bit late. You're 4 minutes late. That's all right. Okay, so I'm going to jump in here. Let's go into the class. Here we go. Okay, so today's class, what are we talking about? Today's lesson is kind of two parts, okay? Unrelated, two different things we're going to talk about today. Both of them because of some questions that I've been getting through email or through Facebook about certain things, okay? But the first thing we're going to talk about today is, oh, you can barely see him. Where is he? Oh, can you see him on the screen? Here he comes. This little guy. This cute little harmless guy, right? The comma, okay? Today we're going to be talking about the comma a little bit, okay? Because some people have been asking me questions about this cute little guy, harmless, sweet little comma, okay? About, I don't know, a couple months ago now, we talked about certain ways that we use the comma in English, and we're going to today talk about kind of the other rules of how to use the comma. Okay. Now, this is in addition to what we've done before. Okay, so I know I've I've talked about this before, but sometimes the comma, he's a little guy, right? And some of you know about my $1 million comma story. I'm not going to tell that story today, but the comma, little guy, he can be important though. Sometimes he can turn on you, right? If you're not careful, he can get the best of you, okay? He can turn into a little monster if you don't know how to use him. But if you know how to use the comma, I hope I didn't frighten anybody too much. Yeah. Victor, you're not Victor is not a fan. He's not a fan of the comma. But if you embrace the comma, if you love the comma, don't hate the comma. Don't be hating the comma. If you love the comma will love you back, right? Okay? So today we're going to be talking about using commas in Unit 12. So this is, as I said, a continuation. I'm a little tangled up here. A continuation of, I think, what we did in Unit 7 when we were talking about commas. All right, so look at these guys. See, they're not afraid of the comma. They love the comma. See, they take the comma to the beach. They have a good time. Shaquille loves the comma. Omar Muhammad, he loves the comma. Yeah, I love the comma too. The comma's your friend. All right, but you have to know how to use him, or he can turn on you. Jean Vidal, coming from California, loves the comma and what it stands for. All right. Okay. So, in a previous lesson in 120, we talked about the first 3 rules of using a comma, right? We talked about lists, we talked about linking, and we talked about introducing things. How you use the comma if you put an introductory word at the beginning of your sentence, like a name, or sometimes certain adverbs, like however, right? Or therefore, okay? Now this, I'm not going to talk about too much. If you have questions about these 3 rules for commas, you can ask, you can put it in the chat. I don't know if I'm going to have time to answer those questions today because we have already talked about this. And also, if you're new, maybe I didn't mention this yet, but put your questions in the chat. Hope you guys aren't getting too political in the chat today. Let's keep it to English. Let's stick with the commas today, yeah? Okay. So commas, listing, linking, and introducing. 3 rules, and we're going to talk about more rules now, okay? So buckle in, get comfortable, sip your coffee. Mahmoud is from Libya. Welcome, Libya. Good to see you. Okay. So the first rule I want to talk about with the comma is adding and interrupting. Okay? Adding and interrupting. So what I mean is we use the comma. Arzang knows what I'm talking about, yeah. To add extra words, phrases, or even clauses into the middle or the end of a sentence. Okay? So if we have a sentence and we're adding extra information, that information could be words, phrases, clauses. Sometimes we have to put it between commas. I'm not going to try to read that word now, Edna. Yeah. Okay. Hanwoo team, hi. How are you? All right, so adding information. So what I'm talking about, when we put something at the end of a sentence, we add information at the end of a sentence. We often put a comma before that information, right? So this is something we talked about, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, a couple units ago. Hangover is asking when the class is going to start. Hangover, you need to refresh. Somebody tell Hangover to refresh his page, right? Refresh YouTube because the class has started. Okay, tell Hangover that we're already into this now. Okay. So a couple weeks ago we talked about the tag question, right? That tail question, the question tag. So you didn't like the ending of the movie, did you? Or did you, right? We talked about that a couple weeks ago. And if you are writing this sentence down, you have to put that comma there, right? Because if you didn't, that would be confusing to the person reading this sentence, right? Because remember, the whole point of the comma is to make things clear. This is making it clear, not karate or massage, right? You want to make things clear to the person reading your sentence, right? So by putting that comma there, right here, you're just making it easier for the person to read your sentence. Okay? Okay. Thank you for helping Hangover out. Hopefully he's with us now. Okay, so tag questions and sometimes little adverbs and whatnot at the end of a sentence, you have that comma before it. Okay? All right, so let's talk about adding information to the middle of the sentence. Okay, now the middle is a little bit trickier. Sometimes that's when students make mistakes. Okay, so speaking of making mistakes, there's Ben Affleck's Batman. So what's the sentence? Ben Affleck, in my opinion, could not compare to Christian Bale in the role of Batman. Okay, so Ben Affleck, in my opinion, in this case, you've got a little phrase there, right? Ben Affleck, in my opinion, could not compare to Christian Bale. So I am interrupting that sentence with that phrase, right? Ben Affleck could not compare. I'm kind of adding information and interrupting the flow of the sentence. And therefore, I'm going to put commas there. Okay? Batman, that's right. So did I take it away? Yeah, what I've done here, if you take this away, you take those commas out and you've got the main sentence, right? You said Ben Affleck could not compare. So if you're interrupting it, with a phrase or with an adverb, a word, right? Then you need those commas there. Nice one. Steve Lynn, Ben Affleck, in my book, could not compare to Christian Bale. Vivek, you hate when Shaun doesn't say hi to you? That's sad. That's really sad. Okay. And Alejandra's asking a good question. She's talking about adjective clauses, and that's exactly right. So what I'm saying here is that if it's a phrase, like in my opinion, or some kind of word like an adverb, right? However, one of those conjunctive adverbs, okay? Or, as Alejandra just asked, a clause that acts as an adjective. So an adjective clause, one of these relative clauses, okay? So in this case, I'm adding this information. I'm saying Ben Affleck, who is a talented director, could not compare to Christian Bale in the role of Batman. Okay? Okay. I don't know who's Gareth Bale? I don't know who that is. Should I know who that is? Okay. So again, this clause, who is a talented director, this is extra information. right, that I'm adding to modify the subject, Ben Affleck. And JB87 is right. You're saying in a positive, a non-defining relative adjective clause. That's exactly right. You need those commas there. So going back to this one, because this sometimes throws students off, okay? You guys know about the adjective clauses, but sometimes with phrases and words like however, therefore, and so on, you a little bit confused about this. But it's the same thing, guys. This is the same sentence. If I took that out and put that at the beginning, right? In my opinion, and then you got the comma there, Ben Affleck could not compare to Christian Bale. Okay? So this is the third rule that we talked about in the other class on commas, using a phrase to introduce, right? And it's the same thing, it's the exact same meaning if you put it here or if you put it here, okay? But just you need 2 commas instead of 1 if you insert in the sentence. Danny John really wants to know what I'm drinking. I am drinking a big old cup of coffee. And Vivek, I will read your example sentence because I agree with it 100%. Vivek says, Shaun is, comma, needless to say, comma, awesome. Thank you for that. I will always say hello to you from now on. Okay. So that's the first rule, guys, and that's kind of the harder one. And JB87 is saying, for me, comma, Ben Affleck. That's perfect. That's exactly right. Good for you guys. Okay. So the other rules are, I think, a little bit more straightforward. I'm going to talk about maybe 3 other rules for the comma, and then you guys are going to do some work for me. Okay. So the next one is dates, guys. Dates. So we use a comma between information in dates. Okay? So for example, humans first landed on the moon on July 20th, 1969. If you believe that we landed on the moon. Okay? Or some Hollywood conspiracy. Now, Omar Mohammed, in that sentence you're writing in the chat, I wouldn't put commas there because you're not putting extra information. That's just a sentence there. Okay. Yeah, so Vivek too. Don't be going too crazy with the commas. Right? You're only using it if you're adding information to the sentence. Okay? So let me just do this, just so we're clear. I don't know what that is. Okay. Let me make this nice and big. Let me change this to, let's go landscape. All right. So the sentence I think that somebody put in there is, Shaun is about to teach us about commas. Okay. Now, Omar Mohammed, in this sentence, you wouldn't put commas anywhere here, okay? Because you've got a subject and a verb, and then you've got really just a bunch of phrases after that, right? You're not adding extra information. Shaun is, therefore, okay. If I said, Shaun is therefore about to teach us about commas. Maybe it's a little strange to having 2 abouts in there. Okay? But that's fine. All right? So yeah, and don't worry about mistakes. I love taking mistakes and putting them up here because it helps other people learn, right? So here I'm adding information. Okay? If I take that out, there's no extra information in there. Shaun is about to teach us about commas. Okay? And Pamela, the answer is yes to that question. Okay. All right. So going back here, you'll notice it says July 20th, comma, 1969. So you want to put the comma between the exact day and the year. Okay. JB87 is, therefore, is not technically well, it's a conjunctive adverb. Okay. Therefore is an adverb. All right. So the one thing, actually, before I go anywhere, that I'll show you about this. Actually, because this one's kind of tricky too. Let me teach you a little trick. Okay. About dates. Whoops. What? Okay. I'm not sure where that came from. So what did we say? Humans first landed on the moon on, what was the date? July 20th? 1969. Okay, we'll say that. Okay. So Arzang, in my opinion, at the first of the sentence is introductory, yeah. But if it's in the middle of a sentence, it's extra information. It's not introductory anymore. Okay. All right, so look at this for a second, guys. If you've got the exact date, the month and the day, July 20th, comma 1969, you're putting that comma there. Okay? All right? But if you don't have the date, I don't really think you need the comma there. Okay, I would say humans first landed on the moon in July 1969. Okay, really just put the comma there if it's the exact day. Okay, a little trick. Okay, you're asking me if you need to do that. You can, but you don't need to. And neither one of them is better. Both are perfectly fine. Okay? Because you're giving me, yeah, good examples in there. Okay. So, let's get out of there. All right. So, addresses. Okay, 2 more things, and then you guys are doing some work for me. We use commas between information in an address, okay? So there's a lovely house. You say, please send the package to 1725 Arbutus Street, comma, Vancouver, comma, British Columbia, and then period. This is not my address. Okay? This is not my address. I have my coffee, Julian, yep. Thank you for reminding me. So again, I repeat, this is not my address. Please do not actually send the package to this address. Okay? Good. All right, now you can also continue there, right? I mean, you can say 1725 Arbutus Street, comma, Vancouver, comma, British Columbia, comma, Canada, comma, North America, comma, world. Well, you wouldn't go that far. Not yet anyway, okay? But you do want to make sure that you're not putting a comma between the number and the house, or the house number and the street, rather. Okay? The house number and the street, don't put the comma there, because that's all one thing. 1725 Arbutus Street. Yeah. If you guys are standing outside of that house on Arbutus Street waiting to see me, you're going to be waiting for a long time. Oh yeah, and Shivangi or Shivangi or Shivangi? Shivangi. You can fix my pronunciation. Is asking that very question. So no comma here, because 1725 Arbutus Street is the house. That's the number of the house. Okay? Good question. Right, exactly. World, Earth, solar system, universe, I guess, galaxy, universe. All right, Sudan is here. Cool. Good. All right, one more. Quotes. And this is what we were talking about 2 weeks ago with direct quotes. So you guys know about this. we use commas with quotation marks in direct speech. Okay? I pronounce it right at the end. So with kind of the soft shivangi, maybe. Okay. So, he sighed and said, comma, this is going to be a great year. He's so relaxed. Yeah, it's going to be a great year is what he said. And with direct speech, with quotation marks here, always make sure, whoops, you're putting the comma before the quotation marks. I mean, in general, typically, not always, but typically you're going to see the comma before the quotation marks, the period before the quotation marks here, right? There's an 11-year-old in the class? That's cool. Everyone's welcome. All right. I thought Vivek was 11 years old. No? All right, now this is one example, but sometimes we don't always put the said at the beginning of the sentence, right? Sometimes we put it in the middle. We say something like this, look at this poor guy. Sit here, his mother said, and think about what you've done. Think about what you've done, okay? Yeah, so in this case, you've got two commas there, right? Because you're kind of interrupting the quote with this whole part here, right? So you're going comma, right? Let me go down here and make it laser red here. You got your comma, then quotations over here, said, comma again, and then quotations again. The one thing you'll keep in mind is notice the A in and here is not capitalized. It's a small little cute little A because it's one sentence. Sit here and think about what you've done. Shaquille, that's a good example of direct speech. Good. I don't think he's going to think about what he's done, though. I think he put a couple pieces of Lego on the floor. I think Mommy's being too harsh, but maybe that's just me. So what do we have next? Where am I going? Whoop, not there. Okay. Practice. So let me pop out here. Let me go full screen. Let's just make sure that you guys have been paying attention. Okay. I'm going to go all the way down here, take up the whole screen. I'm going to disappear for a couple minutes. I'm going to put the music on. And I would like you guys to put commas in the following sentences where you need the commas. Okay? If you don't need a comma, don't put it there. But put the commas where they are needed. Okay? Vinci Grigorov, hold on to that sentence. We'll talk about it after, okay? Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute. So just insert commas where you need them, guys. I'm going to put the music on, and then when we come back, we'll go over them together as one big happy family. Okay, starting with A up at the top. Put your answers in the chat, okay? Get to work, and I'll be back. All right. All right, guys. Lots of good stuff coming in on the chat. If you're not done yet, don't worry about it. I know some people are just kind of starting to put stuff in there, but that's okay. We're going to go through it together. Maybe I'll scroll down a bit and make everything as big as I can. Oh, that doesn't really work. Maybe that's as big as I'm going to get it here. Okay. So let's see. Now the first one, A, you need a lot of commas in here because you've got a couple addresses and another thing going on here too. Okay. So let's look at A. I know a lot of you, put your answers in here. People got really close. Alejandro, good. Good. I think maybe you may have missed a couple there, but you're close. Arzang may have nailed it. Yeah, good. Arzang got it. Good for you. Okay, so he used to live at 2100 Torwood Street, comma. Okay, put in a comma there because you got street, and then Calgary is the city. Now this is kind of tricky for some of you because some of it depends on your understanding of Canadian geography. Okay? So if you don't know what Calgary is or Alberta is, it might be hard to recognize that you need a comma there because Calgary is a city and Alberta is a Canadian province. Okay? Now I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Don't go crazy on me in the chat, okay? Because I'm going to go over here. But he moved to 341 Streeter Boulevard. Again, comma, Hamilton. Okay, Hamilton is a city, and Ontario is again a province. So street, city, province. Street, boulevard is a type of road. City, province. Okay. But there's one more comma in there, right? There's one more. And Arzang saw it. Some of you missed this one here, okay? And that was, I think, the second rule that we talked about in the previous class. We didn't talk about that today, but when you're combining a compound sentence, you've got your subject verb here, your subject and verb here, and your conjunction but, you really want that comma there. Now some of you will say, why? Is this comma necessary? I think even maybe somebody asked, who was it that asked? Was it Victor that asked that? I assume you were talking about that particular comma, right? Comma but. Saying, is that really, what will happen if I don't put that comma there, right? What will happen? Maybe doomsday. Maybe the world will explode, right? Maybe the sky will darken and the sea will turn red with blood. Or nothing. Nothing will happen. You'll do this and you won't put a comma there. And life will continue. But if you are being tested on your use of commas and punctuation, I would put that comma there if you're looking at a compound sentence, okay? If you are writing an email to your buddy about a movie that's playing tomorrow night, you don't have to worry about it, right? But if you want to be like me and really love the comma, and follow the rules, I would put the comma there. Okay? And you never know, the world might end, right? So just be careful. All right, so B, Danny John says space travel is dangerous, comma, isn't it? I think so. Yeah, I think there's an element of danger there. Arzang got that one too. Who else got that one? A little shout out. I think Rosa, you got that one too, right? Yeah, Rosa's got it. All right. Now, Asala, you asked me where the music was. Wasn't the music? I thought I was playing the music. Wasn't I playing the music? If that music wasn't playing, I don't know what's going on. Okay, so C, I have an essay due tomorrow, comma. Make sure you put that comma before. All right, let's get in real close here. Ooh, that's too close. Before the quotation marks there. Okay? You want that before the quotation marks. Good. Okay, let's back off a bit. Good, good, good. D, who's got D for me? Amanda. Said he started working here in May. Now, Amanda, I wouldn't even bother taking that of out of there. Now, D is a good example of me trying to trick my students. I like to trick you because in D there is no comma necessary. No commas in D. Okay? He started working here in May of 2010. You're talking about the month and the year here, not the exact date, not the exact day, like May 25th, right? Which is my birthday. Put that in your calendar next to my address. Okay? Some people are saying in May, not on May. Well, because you don't. Okay, that's a good question, JB87. Because if you say in a month, but you say on the day, right? So I was born in May. I was born on May 25th. Okay? He was born in 2010, for example. Not me, I'm not 17 years old. But he was born on May 12th, 1982, whatever you want to say, right? Good. So no commas in that one. E, he was born. Oh yeah, and this is exactly what we're talking about here. So he was born on August 14th, comma, 1985 in a hospital in Seattle, comma, Washington City, state. Okay. And Tule got it. Good for you. Good, good, good. Amal Orchid, awesome. May 25th of 2010, Ethan is asking. People don't really say that so much. May 25th of 2010. I would just put the comma there. Omar was born on Valentine's Day. Wow, that's romantic. We don't usually say city of a province, right? Like if Steve Lynn is asking, you say Vancouver of British Columbia? We don't really say that, Steve. Good question. Okay, so F, there is no reason to go to space, comma, before the quotations, right? She said, comma, quotations, and the money should be spent on more important things. Yes, and I know, of course, you guys, some of you might not know what Seattle is, right? But Seattle is an American city, not too far away from Vancouver. It's just that way. I'm pointing south, so you know, north, that way. Just in case you're wondering which direction I'm facing. And Amanda, you nailed it. Good. Rosa, you got that one too. Good. Okay, a couple more here. G. Let me see. Who gave me an answer for G? Give me G. Yeah, I tried to fool you. I couldn't fool Suede. She's too sharp for me, right? The company's head office is located at 3564 Georgia Street. In this sentence, there's no need for any kind of punctuation, commas or whatnot. Okay. Well, I mean, other than the period at the end, because this is the number and that's the street. Okay. Couldn't trick Suede. Too sharp for me. I'll get you next time. All right. So what about H? If you want my opinion, Alex, I think you should pay more attention to your studies. Now, this is a really good example, guys, of using the comma to help the reader to read the sentence. if you want my opinion, Alex, I. Looks really strange. Okay? So, Alejandro, you're halfway there. You're halfway there. And Amanda, same thing. You're halfway there. Did anybody else get it? Danny John, there you go. Victor, almost. Almost got it, because this is inserting the person's name into the sentence. You're interrupting your sentence. If you want my opinion, I think you should pay more attention, right? So you're going to put that comma in there anyway, honestly, because even if I took that out, guys, if you want my opinion, comma, I think you should pay more attention to your studies. This is a complex sentence. Now, you're putting Alex in there before the subject. You got Alex and the subject. So you want to put that comma there to separate the two names, because it would be very confusing for someone to see Alex, I. Alex, I think. Right? So it's the same thing, and it would be the same thing if I took this out and just said that sentence. Alex, comma, I think you should pay more attention to your studies. This is introducing, right? Alex, I think you should. Or, if you want my opinion, Alex, I think you should pay more attention. Paluxia. Yeah. That's the positive the positive thinking that brings a tear to your teacher's eye, Paluxio, right? Okay. What's the question, Vinci? A capital of Detroit? Maybe you guys are talking about something else. Okay, so the train took us from Paris, France, all the way to the Italian border. I would say just put that comma there, right? Paris, France. Okay. Some people are putting a comma here. You could. No one's going to slap you for putting the comma there, but you don't need it there. Okay. And Detroit, why are you talking about Detroit? What did I miss in that? Because Detroit's a city, so I don't know what you mean, the capital of Detroit. Okay, now J. Victor, you got it. I believe, therefore, comma, that humans will live on another planet in the future, because again, I'm interrupting. And it's the same thing as I said before. If I took that out and I put it here, I would say that, right? Therefore, comma, I believe that humans will live, okay? Or take it out, put it here, comme ça, okay? I believe, therefore, that humans will live on the planet. Peter Parn is saying, how do I ask a question? Well, that's a question, Peter. You've just asked a question. That's how you do it. Good job. Okay. Beatrice is saying no. What are you saying no to, Beatrice? Are you just saying no to me? Just no, that's it. Any other questions? All right, so that's the comma, guys, and that's about all I want to spend on the comma for now. If you guys have more questions, put it in there. Okay. Now I do want to talk about something completely different. Here, let's go back into the sad little boy. Sad little boy. I thought that we would do a little bit of a quick vocabulary focus, right? People are always asking me about phrasal verbs. Vivek, you got to capitalize France, right? F, capital F. Victor, I don't understand your question there, buddy. Okay? You've got to clarify that question. Okay. So phrasal verbs, you guys are always asking me about phrasal verbs. So, I mean, phrasal verbs are something that's really, it's hard to teach vocabulary. And phrasal verbs, that's all it is, really. It's just a list of words that you have to learn, right? The best way to do it is to learn it through context, right? To read or to watch and listen to the way we use the language, right? Okay. Alejandro, I'll take a look at that question in a minute, okay? So phrasal verbs with up. Now, we can only really learn a couple phrasal verbs a day. I mean, it's, as I said, it's a long list of words, but I just thought I would talk about a few today. Just do a little vocabulary focus to get you ready for the weekend, okay? So phrasal verbs with up. I mean, the easy use of up in the phrasal verb is meaning literally up, the movement or direction upwards, right? I mean, if you think about phrasal verbs like stand up, right? Stand up, pick up, put up. You put up a picture, right? You turn up the volume. Okay, so I mean, sometimes the word up literally means up. Literally means what I say is what I mean. And Rosa Casiero, yes, that is correct. Okay. Drink up. Yeah. No, exactly. So Vivek is kind of one step ahead of me because sometimes the up has nothing to do with the movement or direction of going up. More often than not. So people are saying things like drink up, eat up, right? Speak up. I guess speak up, you're talking about increasing the volume. It is kind of going up. The volume is going up. Drink up. I guess, I mean, your glass is kind of going up, but then the drink is going down. So you can drink it up or you can drink it down. That's that's kind of the crazy thing about phrasal verbs. Okay? Yes, give up, you're saying. Open up. Throw up. Yeah, it's wonderful. Happy Friday. Okay. I guess there's kind of an upward motion there too, maybe. Depends on your position, I guess. Now, what I want to talk about today is take up. I mean, this is a good example of a phrasal verb that has a couple different meanings. Take up. Okay, so this will be one of our words of the day. Okay, so check out this sentence. I want a sofa that is comfortable, but doesn't take up a lot of space. My apartment is pretty small, right? So in this phrasal verb, up does not mean up at all. It has nothing to do with up. Okay, yeah, you guys, yeah, break up, kiss up, clean up, right? Okay, so take up a lot of space. This can be physical space or it can be not so physical. I mean, if you're talking about memory on your computer or on your phone, right? Data, right? Your data plan, right? It means like to occupy, to use, right? So I want a sofa that's comfortable, but it doesn't require, it doesn't need a lot of space. It doesn't occupy and take up a lot of space, right? That's the thing about, I mean, phones too, right? Like I love music, but I don't put a lot of music on my phone because I don't want my music to take up all of my data storage, right? Okay. Just use Spotify, right? Just use Spotify. Doesn't take it up. You can take up time, right? What kind of activity? Put it in there. I'm getting a thumbs up from French Leo. Thumbs up. All right. What are some activities that take up a lot of time, right? Raising children takes up a lot of time. Okay? Now, the reason I'm choosing take up is because a lot of phrasal verbs have completely unrelated meanings. This is one meaning of take up, okay? Meaning use. Or there's this. I've recently decided to take up running. Now, this use of take up is completely different from the previous one. Now Beatrice is saying okay. But okay to what, Beatrice? Before it was no. Now it's okay? You're getting more agreeable. That's good. So I've recently decided to take up running. Okay? And in this case, it doesn't have anything to do with using anything. JB87, you can't hate phrasal verbs. People, you can't hate commas. You can't hate phrasal verbs. It's the language. All right? Phrasal verbs are a beautiful thing. It's like saying you hate spices, right? I just want to eat food that has no flavor, right? Just give me white bread and white rice, no salt and pepper or paprika or anything, right? Phrasal verbs, this is the vocabulary, this is the spice, this is the taste, right? You got to love it. All right, so I've recently decided to take up running means to start a new activity, right? It doesn't mean start, meaning to start your car or to start a test. It means when you begin a new activity. JB87, yeah, I could see that phrasal verbs being an obsessive thing for sure. Okay? So to take up a new activity, what can you take up? Well, exercise is a good thing to take up. You can take up bad things, obviously. Smoking is a habit you should not take up. If you take up smoking, it's hard to quit. Navjot Singh took up cricket. Amanda has taken up watching TV series in English. Good. Okay. And there's another use of take up as well, right? This woman says, if you're not satisfied, you can take it up with the manager. Okay? She should be careful how she says that sentence because it could come across as rude. But what she is saying there is you can discuss it with the manager. You can talk about something. Now, usually, if you say you can take it up with someone, it's usually not a happy conversation, right? It's usually a complaint or a problem or a disagreement or something like that, where you take it up with a person. And Mikhail from Czech has decided to take up learning phrasal verbs. Hey, Carlo's back. Of CF teaching fame. Good to see you. Colwinder is he wants to take up dancing. Yeah, right, cool. So this is take up. You got one phrasal verb, has nothing to do with up, completely different in meaning depending on the context of the sentence. And this, I wouldn't say this is not a formal thing, no. Definitely not formal. We use this kind of thing in conversation all the time. Curious Minds is saying hello, hello, hello. All right, now even these phrasal verbs, and this is where students get frustrated sometimes with phrasal verbs, is even the easy ones, like stand up and pick up and put up and turn up, have other meanings that have nothing to do with up, right? So, let me show you a couple. You need to stand up for yourself. Don't let your boss treat you so poorly. Stand up for yourself, right? Whoop. Which means to defend yourself. Don't just sit down and take abuse, right? You have to fight. Well, not physically, you don't have to fight. But stand up for yourself means to defend. Defend yourself. Suede, you got it. Good. Good, good, good. All right, so, of course, can you pick me up at the airport tomorrow? It has nothing to do with picking up physically, literally. It means to come get me. Can you come get me at the airport? Can you pick me up at the airport? Shaquille, a beautiful example sentence. If you do not understand English, you can take it up with Shaun. That's right. Carla is saying, stand up for what you believe. Absolutely. Good advice. Good advice. All right. Now this one, I can't put up with the stress anymore. I can't put up with the stress. I can't put up with my neighbor's loud music, right? Which means I can't deal with it, right? I can't handle it. I can't take the stress. I can't put up with the stress. It's hard to deal with. Amanda says, stand up for your rights. Right. That's right. Alejandra, good. Handle, Suede is saying. Yeah, Tule, exactly. And one more. I wasn't expecting my cousin to turn up at my party. To turn up. Oh, look who turned up. Right? Look who turned up means look who appeared. Right? Look who showed up. It's kind of the same thing. Look who came unexpectedly. If you find something around your house, if you lose something around your house, people will say, oh, don't worry, it will turn up. It will turn up somewhere, meaning you'll find it, right? You'll find it somewhere. Show up, come. Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly. So if a student, for example, Carla has been away for a little while. Carla pops into class, and you guys can say, oh, look who turned up in class today. Carla. And Alejandra, actually, yeah, as well. Alejandra turned up in class today. Carla turned up in class today. Okay? Blow up, sure. And show up. So this, I just wanted to give you guys a little taste. With phrasal verbs, it's hard to do an entire lesson on phrasal verbs because there's so many of them. It's hard to know exactly how to learn them all, how to teach them all. But I just like giving you guys a little taste. So in coming classes, I might teach you, 5 or so words every lesson, just to try to expand your vocabulary. Okay? So that's phrasal verbs. One more thing before we go is a really sad transition into mistake of the week. Mistake of the week. I should really have a theme song for the mistake of the week. Vinci Grigorov wants to kill the inventor of phrasal verbs. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who you can blame for phrasal verbs. I don't know if other languages have them. I think phrasal verbs seem very, very much more connected to the German Anglo-Saxon side of English and not so much on the Latin side of English. So I don't know, blame the Vikings maybe? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Vinci Grigorov. Shaquille, you didn't understand turn up? Turn up just means to be there unexpectedly, right? If you don't think you're going to see your friend and your friend is there, you can say he turned up. Yeah? Yeah, no phrasals in French, eh? You're lucky. Okay, mistake of the week, guys. For anybody who doesn't know, anybody who is new, this is how it works. I'm going to put a sentence on the screen, and I want you to try to find the mistake. Okay, find the mistake. It's a common mistake that people make every week. We do it to see who is the champion of the internet, who is the who literally has the fastest internet connection or the quickest brain. It's kind of a mixture of the two. We have lots of former champions. This chat is a hall of fame of former champions of the mistake of the week. Okay. I'm going to put the sentence and I'm going to disappear for 5 seconds. I want you to look closely and find me the one mistake. Okay, you guys ready? All right, here we go. Find me the mistake. Go for it. All right, I think we have a champion. A man is the champion of making mistakes. Now, there's lots of little things I put in this sentence to try to trick you, and I think I tricked some of you. Now, let me take a look. So we threw a going away party for my friend last weekend, but less than 10 people showed up. Now, this mistake is actually a mistake that native English speakers make all the time. I probably even do it myself, but I did want to bring it to your attention that it is a mistake. Okay, depending on how much you care about the real rules of English. Now, some of you were talking about this comma before but. Okay, but no, that comma is correct. Okay. This is a compound sentence, 2 subjects, two main verbs, I would say. Yeah. And you're using that conjunction with the comma. So that comma is fine. Now, some of you are talking about show. Show's fine. Maybe some of you were confused by using the verb to throw a party. But yes, you do throw a party. Danny John, yeah, no, there's a subject. This is a subject here, right? And this is the subject here, people. This less than 10 here that's kind of a quantifier, right? This is saying the amount of people who showed up. Showed is fine, throw is fine, going is fine. I believe the champion of the internet, by a very narrow margin, is JB87, followed by Omar Muhammad. Okay, Omar just came in, according to my chat, came in just under JB87. And you've also got Steve Lynn, you got it. A little late, but Suede, you got it too. All right, so the mistake of the week is the word less. Now, again, this is a mistake that we make all the time. But it's a mistake that really only bothers English teachers, okay? And right, you're saying, Victor, absolutely. People say less, but it is technically incorrect. So if you are, what I'm trying to teach you guys here is knowing kind of when to care about it and when it doesn't really matter. I mean, in common usage, people say less than 10 people. But on some kind of English test, if they ask you this is actually incorrect because people is a countable noun, right? So with countables, right, we don't say less, right? Yes, Ethan Choi, you're right. We say fewer, but fewer than 10 people showed up, okay? Now, again, in common usage, not a lot of people actually, I would say the majority of people probably say less, okay? But your teacher might be testing you, and it should technically be fewer than, okay? Fewer with countable, French Leo says. Oh, yes. Okay. So what you can do is when you go to if you're living in an English speaking city or country, you can go to the grocery store, and in some of those express lanes it says 15 items or less, and you can go to them and say that's incorrect English, and I'd like you to change that sign immediately. Don't say that. They'll chase you from the store. All right? All right, yeah. So, I mean, some people are saying no mistake. Well, technically a mistake, but this one, don't worry about it. As I said, I probably sometimes use the word less with countable nouns as well. And French Leo, you're saying England accepts it in both forms? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Beatrice, thinking about things? Okay. All right, so let me hop out here. There I am. All right, guys. So just give me a second here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's all the time we have for today. Unfortunately, it is time to go. Okay, but it's always a pleasure, guys, for me to jump in here and teach you. It's a highlight of my week. It's a great way to end the day. Omar is saying, don't leave me. Unfortunately, I have to leave you. I have other things I have to do, other responsibilities here at the school in Vancouver. My day is just beginning, as some of your days are winding down and being wrapped up. I'm just getting amped up, ramped up, revved up, and ready to rock and roll. Karim, oh, where's Karim from? And then teacher Karim, he's originally he's Egyptian, but he's been in Canada for a while. Yeah, he is a Canadian now. Okay, yeah, and keep checking out Karim's classes. New stream, right? Next Wednesday. Speaking of that, maybe, I don't know if this will be a sad note for some of you guys saying, don't go, don't leave me. Is that just for a couple weeks anyway, guys, I am going to be off, okay? Because I'm taking a holiday, much deserved, because I work so hard. Yeah. I'm taking a holiday, taking the family back to my hometown for a bit. Next week, I'll be away for a couple weeks, okay? But then we'll be back. I'll make sure to announce on Facebook when we're coming back. But yeah, for the next couple weeks, I'll be not here. H.W. Bernal is saying, Das Vidanya? Das Vidanya, maybe. Okay. So yeah, in the meantime, yeah, keep watching the other classes. You've got Neil, you've got Karim, right? You've got Josh. Check him out. And we'll be back. Some of you are screaming, no. I know, I shouldn't be allowed to have a holiday, right? Alejandra, your answer, what was your question? I forget, what was your question? Put it in there again. I'll answer your question, Alejandra. Okay, and I'll type it in the chat. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna say see you later for now. Keep on making mistakes. Keep on using the English. Keep on learning from your mistakes and improving. And we'll see you here next time in a couple weeks. And we'll see you then. Okay? Victor, why does it say that? I don't know. That's a mistake. We'll fix that up. All right? And again, Alejandra, put that question in the chat, and I will answer it. Okay? In the meantime, guys, keep watching the videos. Keep liking us. Keep subscribing to the channel. Keep checking out the other teachers. Tell your friends. Tell your mom. Tell your friends' moms. Get everybody in here. And sorry. We'll see you next time. See you guys. I gotta go. Bye.